know that these legends of the game have been enjoying their time way too much at Yawuna House. So today I summoned them to Nedbank headquarters to make sure they can at least explain and elaborate what it's been like at Yawuna House and what they expect. A warm welcome please for our Nedbank ambassadors who are legends themselves in their own rights, who've either played for either Mamelodi Sundowns or London Pirates themselves. It is Stanton Fredericks and Teko Modise. I like the walk and the fits. Gentlemen, good morning. How are you doing?
It's not that cold. I see you welcome people here and say on a freezing morning. It's not that cold. It is cold.
It is cold. It's because I'm seeing that you are dressed to the nines, double-breasted suits, ready for the Nedbank Cup final already. But Stiga, out of 17 years of this wonderful partnership between the PSL and Nedbank, we've enjoyed some really great football. And this season we had Nedbank Cup, Yawuna, which really made people feel like they also belong and deserve this cup and title. How has it been during this campaign, seeing people enjoy Yawuna?
Yeah, I think it's been a brilliant initiative from Nedbank. So what basically happens at the house is that I think it's an experience for myself as a player and a football analyst to mingle with the fan that cheers you when you were playing, the fan that goes to the stadium and cheers, So it gives us an opportunity to watch the game, listen to the comments, and be a fan for once, instead of working and seeing Thato on the screen and analyzing, So from my perspective, it was just refreshing and informative and interesting to see the point of view from a fan, and not a learned football person, So I think it was a brilliant experience, and I'm sure for the fans to mingle with the likes of Teko, Nedbank managed to get through some footballers as well. Kermit Erasmus was there, and a number of other football people in the football fraternity to mingle with the fans. It was just brilliant.
And I saw that experience every single time we'd come crossover. You were enjoying yourself a bit too much, Teko, even showing us some skills and challenging the fans. But that experience, being close to the game in that sense, and hearing what the fans want from the Nedbank Cup, must have been a bit different.
Yeah, I mean, look, we hardly have an opportunity to become fans because we're always in the studio, on the pitch, analyzing the game. But then again, once you're in that environment, listening to how they view the game, their favorite players, how excited they become when their favorite players is on the ball, it actually takes you back to the days when you played. So those are moments that you actually, at times you forget about, but then here on our house actually reminded us those things. And also to see how challenging they are, like they're very, very competitive. Some of them, after a few nice glasses of drinks, they always want to challenge you to 1v1 situation. So it's kind of interesting to see, but also I think what is very educational for us, like Steve and them, is just to listen to their point of view as to how they view the game. Because for us, when you're watching the game, you're not watching the game as fans. You're always watching the game in the sense that you're analyzing.
Critical,
so, yeah, very, very critical. So to hear that side of them, it was very, very interesting.
Now, other than Yawuna campaign, which we have been running throughout the season, absolutely fantastic, and fans can get to share, the spoils of 5 million rand. I wish I'd actually been part of that. But this Nedbank Cup campaign 2024 has been so special because game after game after game, we have seen some really great results. From 32, we're now down to the final 2. Any moments that really stand out for you? Perhaps teams that haven't made it to the final that you're like, but that was a great performance.
Yeah, I think that's what the Nedbank Cup gives you. It gives the minnows, and we say this all the time at every event, it gives somebody, and Teko relates best to this, somebody that has not started their football career at the top.
Yeah.
You've started at ABC Motsepe. You've started at Motsepe Foundation League. You get an opportunity to come up against guys like your Sundowns, your Pirates. And from a team from my community is La Masia. They met in the first round of 16 against Sundowns. And the buzz that goes within the communities, the buzz with the players. Obviously they had a coach, Dan Clay, which was close to the game. a legend in his own right, and you know, just that opportunity to come up against the best. He's coming up against a coach that's at the highest level. The players are coming up against players that they see day in, day out. That actually gives you an opportunity to gauge where you are at as a player. You know, like when I was playing, when you come up against for Bafana against international players, you now have the opportunity to gauge where you at, and I'm sure Teko can attest to that.
I mean, it's those opportunities, especially for those players like Steve is saying. I can just imagine what goes through them. I remember myself, it was very, very difficult to sleep knowing that you're going to play one of the best teams in the country. And you also want to prove yourself, and you want to, it's a window of an opportunity for you to be scouted and be seen, and to have an opportunity to play in the PSL. So those teams, I can see the excitement whenever they play a PSL team. They play over and above. And that's why it's so difficult when you're a PSL team playing against those type of teams, because therefore you don't have much information about them, but they've got everything against you. So those are very, very difficult games, unlike when you play against the teams that you normally play against in the PSL. So this is a tournament that gives us the opportunity to unearth talent, you know, to fast track us being able to spot somebody that is next, because you're always looking for the next player, the next, so that you can always have that generational thing, always have the best players, and this is a tournament that actually gives us that opportunity.
And you know, we talk about Nedbank Cup and the kind of footballers it's given us. We talk about Paul Kanyisombayo or Brumudi, but we know the names. But for you, Teko, this season, when you look at Nedbank Cup, what are those moments that really also stood out for you that, yo, I will never forget that game or that specific player?
I think it was a game, Mamelodi Sundowns against Stellis, knowing what happened last season. And also you look at how Stellis has been performing this season. I mean, it was very difficult. Every team can tell you how difficult it is to go to Danny Craven Stadium and be able to get maximum points. And I remember having a conversation with Steve Parker as well as to where the team is and how he feels about the team. He actually admitted to me that they really, really want to go and represent South Africa in the continental space. And you look at the amount of youngsters that have been used there, and because they were also on the podium, they know how it feels to win trophies. They're hungry for more. And of course, they've got a youngster as well that was part of the national team, Adams. So he has actually upped his game as well. We've got Reynes that has found a new leaf at Stellis this season. I mean, it's been outstanding. So knowing that they're playing Mamelodi Sundowns at their home turf, we know how difficult it was going to be for Mamelodi Sundowns. And then I think it was a game as well that on its own, it can open up, anything can happen. And I think for me, it was one of those games that I couldn't even take a break to go maybe have a sip of water or something, because anything can happen within that game. And those are the fixtures that I'm always looking forward to, because then you know that any mistake you're going to get punished, because we know that these are two teams that are playing totally different type of football, but yet dangerous on its own. And I mean, Stellis, of course, they're very disappointed, but I would have loved them as well to see them again in the final because of the youngsters that they have. And we always speak about youngsters getting opportunity, getting exposure. These are the youngsters. You have Titus that has been outstanding this season, Adams that has been outstanding this season, and you want to see them also growing into the game, become better and better and better and better. For them getting better, it's better for the national team. So it was one of those games for me that actually stood out in this tournament.
And I like that you mentioned that and brought that up, because sometimes we sit and we think, Nedbank Cup, it's the last competition, last trophy of the season, and this trophy is very beautiful. To take it home must mean a lot. And then you think about the prize purse. But the element of being able to go and have Continental Cup experience means a lot for those who will never get that experience. And I think we saw how the Continental battle was so tough this season. It was the biggest talking point about number 2. So that also, having that continental experience that comes with Nedbank is a massive one for the team, Steve.
Now that becomes so massive, as you mentioned, and I was just on my way here, I was chatting to Keenan, and the Nedbank Cup has been favoured because last season we had a derby in the semi-finals. And this year it's the best of the best. Number 1 and number 2 in the DStv Prem coming in the final cup of the season. But just to go back to the game that really stood out for me is obviously when Kaizer Chiefs lost to Milford. I mean, really.
Okay, I didn't coax you into that direction,
no, I didn't
but okay.
But then it just shows you, coming back to Stellis, the very next match is where Stellis showed the quality of the PSL, and then they totally destroyed Milford. But that was a learning curve for Milford. and the coaching staff and the players. And when we speak
and we'll never see the same Milford again.
You know what I'm saying? And when you speak about the Nedbank Cup, this is exactly what it's all about. An opportunity to come up and beat the likes of Kaizer Chiefs. You're still floating on cloud 9. I done the match with Stellenbosch against Milford, and when they came out for warm-up, I could see these guys are still happy about the last victory. If you come up against the Stellies with this attitude, you're going to get slapped, and unfortunately that was the case for Milford. But those are the games that stand out for me.
I love going down memory lane. I wish you could replay this season's Nedbank Cup. It's really been so great. And yes, we do have two of the most informed teams right now in the league. Every single time Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates get together, it's a party, and we really get to see some great football. Dons, you've donned both the jerseys of these clubs, and you know the nuances that we don't know about a Mamelodi Sundowns preparing for Nedbank Cup and the Orlando Pirates preparing for Nedbank Cup. What do you think is going on right now? How are they feeling?
I think, of course, that was a long time ago. But
you got a good memory.
Yeah, but the feeling is, when I was at the Orlando Pirates playing Mamelodi Sundowns, you get that excitement. And at the time, I think the Mamelodi Sundowns was called the Bafana Style. So it was just an ego thing that you wanted to show them how good we are as Orlando Pirates. And you started comparing from a player to player, position to position, because you need to cancel each other out first for you to be able to possibly win the game. And as much as we've known that they've seen as well how these two teams have evolved, these are the possibly, arguably, the best players in the country facing each other. And you look at from what happened in AFCON from a national team perspective, we didn't have too many players from Orlando Pirates. And normally the case is always have Kaizer Chiefs, Orlando Pirates players in the team and Sundowns. And if you look at how great they've been performing in the second round of the season, that is Orlando Pirates, you want to see more players in the national team for us to become stronger. And you have the likes of Tito, Moeng, exceptional watching them. Jermaine also just come out and being exceptional. Once you have that fixture, you start comparing. There's no way that you can avoid it. You want to compare whether Tito will outshine Tembazwane, whether Moeng will outshine who so and so. So it's one of those games, and I feel for the players because the nerves. Sometimes we forget that we're also human beings.
Yeah.
The nerve that comes in through it, especially for me when I moved to Mamelodi Sundowns, playing against Orlando Pirates, it was a nightmare because then sometimes the occasion took over because you normally don't play the game. You always want to prove, and sometimes those are the mistakes that actually happen, even from a senior player's point of view. So in this weekend's game, it's a fixture that we have seen that has proven to us how emotional it becomes. It needs a referee that is a bit stronger. We've seen them the last time they played, the amount of yellow card within the 20 minutes on its own, because it's so emotional, and I think it becomes this blockbuster fixture that nobody wants to lose. And I think it's a true representation of what South African football is all about. These two teams, whenever they face each other, we don't know what the results are going to go. And if you look at, of course, we can sit here and speak about the stats of the coaches, the numbers and all this stuff, but at the end of the day, it's how the players feel on the day, on the pitch. And that's just as important. And I think it's a fixture that a lot of players want to finish on the high. They want to defend that title. And I think they're going to go into this game knowing that they have to beat Mamelodi Sundowns. With Mamelodi Sundowns, they know the rest of Mamelodi that Orlando Pirates have. We all know. We cannot sit here and speak about tactics, but we know how dangerous Orlando Pirates is. But with Mamelodi Sundowns, with all the amounts of game that they've played, also later on the stage, you've seen the amount of injuries as well that they've encountered as well. So you never know which Mamelodi Sundowns is going to show on the pitch, but we know now which Orlando Pirates side is going to show on the pitch. So it's going to be very interesting. And also you have players also from both teams that still have to make the final squad of the national team to be able to play there. So for me, it's all boils down to the players' emotions, because at the end of the day, you want to play the game, not the occasion. And 5 minutes into the game, you want to be present in the game and be able to focus on the game. So we just hope that on the day, we do have a referee that will be able to sustain the pressure that comes with officiating such a game, because we don't want to end up the game to speak about the referee. We need to forget that the referee was speak about the players itself. Yeah.
In simple terms, that we say it's going to be nice It's going to be lit and bring on the football. That's what we expect this weekend. And you know, Stiga, having been a player yourself and knowing the pressures of such a big game, and I mean, Mamelodi Sundowns and the Orlando Pirates players are true sportsmen to the test. But what do you think would be going through their minds, like Don has been saying, about really this is the one time where you cannot mess it up, you have to be focusing on the game? What do you think the players are going through? Going through the tunnel during that time on Saturday, we wouldn't know the experience.
Yeah, you know, I can only speak from the perspective of an attacking player. So the mindset going into a final is that when I've played finals or big matches, I decide, well, you know who you're coming up against. How am I going to dominate that player? So if I was to come up against left back Mashego for Sundowns or Modiba, I will then go study him. I will know where he's strong. I will know he's weak on his right foot. So when I get that ball the first time round, am I going to test him? Am I going to keep it simple? So in your mind, you're working out, how am I going to overcome this player? You know, so that's what I would be doing if I was playing this game, and that's what I'd done when I was playing. So you see directly who you're up against and how you're going to overcome that player.
I hope they've done their homework. Then you've got Mamelodi Sundowns, Orlando Pirates, this big grand finale. Orlando Pirates, of course, defending champions, finishing off second, but margins behind Mamelodi Sundowns, points-wise. Sundowns, record breakers, lost just that last game to be able to not be called the Invincibles. But they go into this game also wanting this trophy. But Orlando Pirates will not let it go. Permutations for this weekend. What can we see? Are we going to see Thato Moeng get onto the score sheet again? Is Shalulile going to add on and be the biggest goal scorer ever in the Nedbank Cup? Are we going to see more records being broken this weekend?
Yeah, before we go into the details of the game, I think just holistically, for Orlando Pirates, they'll be wanting to win this cup because, let's face it, everybody's playing catch up. The closest team to Sundowns is Orlando Pirates right now. So if they win 2 cups and they ended second, they're now on the right direction, on the right path. For Sundowns, not winning that last game is leaving a bitter taste in their mouths because they wanted to be invincible. And that opportunity will not come very soon. It is just going to become more difficult. So they never, yes, they won the league, but you know, it's a team that has set their sights across the borders. They're international. They're thinking about the World Club champs now. So you know, the fact that they lost on the last game of the DStv Prem, they're going to want to make it right. And I tell you what, that is going to be the focus. They're going to want that trophy so much, and that is why this Nedbank Cup final is possibly going to be one of the best ever.
We've already seen these two juggernauts battle it out in the cup final, and then the Pirates took that tally. You look at Mbombela Stadium, Pirates already won there, and that brings them back to that double treble, so it brings back a lot of memories. For Mamelodi Sundowns, you would say that traditionally Mbombela has not been a happy hunting ground. How does they go into this game, looking at all these permutations?
It's a difficult one because then you're playing against a defending champion. You're playing against a coach that hasn't lost a game in the cup competition, that knows how to win. And for Mamelodi Sundowns, the pressure is on them for them to be able to win this, and they want to end the season with a treble as well. They do have that opportunity, but playing against Orlando Pirates in the cup final is always difficult. We've seen that in the past as well. And you look at the number of quality players on the pitch, the game can go either way. And with Mamelodi Sundowns going to this game, I think it's going to be one of those highly tactical games from a coach line. We'll be looking as to how then do you exploit Orlando Pirates early on into the game, because the longer it goes, I think it's more advantageous to Orlando Pirates. Looking at the speed that they have up front, looking at the on-form striker that they have as well. And also, we've seen also in the last 10-15 games how teams have approached Mamelodi Sundowns. As much as at times they'll win maybe later on into the game, but teams have already now started to give Mamelodi Sundowns a problem with how they defend, the structure, how they defend. And we've known Orlando Pirates defensively also, but they're very good as well. And coming into the cup final, I don't think it's going to be an open game as people expect. I think you have two technical coaches that will want to win games on those tactics. I think it's going to be proven as to who's the best coach, because I think that's the conversation also that we can't avoid. And for me, I think with Coach Rulani being the coach that he is, you want to go to every detail as to then at what minute Orlando Pirates normally make these changes and who comes in and who does what. And with Coach Rulani, we have heard him speak even after the games, even if they win with whatever scoreline, he always wants to improve the team. So they go into this game knowing that these are the best two sides that wants to win the game. But yet again, it doesn't matter how you're going to win it. We can speak about tactics, we can speak about quality players that are on the pitch. At the end of the day, you want to lift the trophy, you want to remember as a coach that lift the trophy. And if Coach Rivero loses, it's going to be his first time losing a game. And he doesn't also want to let go of that history. Those stats of his, and Coach Rulani wants to be also one of the youngest successful coaches in the country. So there's a lot at stake from the coaching point of view, but from the players, I think those are the main characters of the show. I think it's just what Stiga said, it's about 1v1, who wants to be the best. And I think that arrogance, that's something that I want to see from the players, who wants to prove over and over again when given the opportunity to prove that I'm the best. We speak about Tito, how he has done this season. It's a big game. If we have to really be realistic, whenever Tito plays against another Pirates, he normally doesn't finish the game, he can substitute. So it's an opportunity for him to show that he really is one of those top quality players. Mofokeng is, I mean, he's above his peers. I mean, he's exceptional, and it's just an opportunity, a big stage for players. As a footballer, you work so hard to get into the stages, and once you get into the stages, you really want to play your heart out. And I think because it's the last game of the season, the players will go wholeheartedly, and for me as a fan, I'm excited to see exactly what's going to happen. And I know that Coach Rulani will actually want to win this game.
When you speak about the players, Tito, as well as Mofokeng, we're starting to see something that used to happen, like when Teko would get the ball, fans get excited. When Shuffle or Stiga gets the ball, fans get excited. That's happening at the Orlando Pirates now.
Yes.
When Tito gets the ball, when Mofokeng gets the ball. And if Pirates are going to take the advantage, they need to use the fans, because there'll be more Bagania fans than Sundowns. You like it or not? They'll be Pirates will be tough. Mamelodi can't fill up Mbombela, but anyway, I'm not taking sides, I'm just saying. So that's starting to come back in our football, and that's what we love, fans being entertained. Now you use that fan to your advantage, like you used to do. You know, when it's not going your way, do some magic, have an exciting play, finish off with a shot on goal. Now the fans is on your side, and that is how you get the advantage.
Stiga, I'm going to say I've been going to Mbombela, lost 2 or 3 games, and it has been packed to the rafters. It has been beautiful to see, and that's already saying that the fans are readying themselves for this final already, before they even knew who was playing in the final. So Mbombela is going to be packed. It's been quite exciting. But I'd like to know which Sundowns is actually going to show up. You've been talking about Mofokeng, Tito, we know the Pirates players, but which Sundowns shows up, because we never know what Coach Rulani does.
I mean, I think with the last game of the league, you look at Monday Sundowns lineup, I think there's a true indication as to the players that were rested on the day, clearly that the players are going to play. We see that Modiba wasn't playing, Ekana wasn't playing. Of course, we saw also Mokwena coming on because he's from an injury, just to test as to how far he is. And I think you want to have your best players on the pitch. And I think with Monday Sundowns, when you speak about the best players on the pitch, we know it's always going to be Mofokeng, Mokwena rather, Alende, maybe Miami on that midfield, Tembazwani, of course, Ribeiro, Shalili. I'm not giving away the lineup.
We prepared for the press conference.
but normally those are the best players on the pitch, and also you as a coach, you wouldn't want to go into such a game and lose a game and have regrets as to what is it that I could have done better. You always want to put your best players on the pitch and start the game with that. And of course with Mamelodi Sundowns, they want to do that. And when we speak about the best players on the pitch, we've seen them when they play the Champions League semi-final. Those are the players that you're going to actually see on the pitch on the day, because then those are the players that actually have acclimatized to big games and acclimatized to sold-out stadiums. Because at the end of the day, as we speak about the sold-out stadium, it's going to be packed. But at times we've seen great players as well unable to make it on the day because of the pressure that comes with the crowd. And I think with Mamelodi Sundowns has a little bit of an edge, as much as a lot of Pirates have played in a couple of cup finals. But Mamelodi Sundowns have a little bit of an edge in terms of managing the crowd. And also what helps them as well is their style of play. They're very, very patient, irrespective of how the crowd is playing. So that if they can have an opportunity to silence Orlando Pirates crowd, already they're upping their percentage in terms of winning games. But also you have the likes of Tito, you have the likes of Mofokeng, Makaula, all these other players that also wants to show how good they are on the ball, off the ball, against one of the best sides in the country. It's how you control your emotions. The emotional intelligence comes through, because at the end of the day, you'll see at the end of the game, the coaches, their voices will be going to try to scream, nobody's going to hear them. So as a footballer, it's then how then do you make those decisions on the pitch? Are you present in the game to be able to know and exactly understand and execute what the coaches has played? It's up to the player. Also, we know that both teams are prepared very well for this cup final. And this is the cup final that we spoke about even from the inception of this game. We said we want to see these both teams in the final. Sorry, Steve, I'm not Kaizer Chiefs though, but we wanted to see Orlando Pirates and Sundowns in the final because these are the top two teams, the top players that I want to perform. And it just takes me back to those days when I was a footballer. These are the games that I want to play. And you want to go off into the off season with the trophy as well.
You wish you could play this final, then?
Absolutely.
I can see you. I can see. I know you too well. You want to play in this final. But I also love the fact, Teko, that you've conceded that Stiga's right. Mbombela is going to be packed with Orlando Pirates fans.
Yeah, but we've seen as well with games that Orlando Pirates has played in. A lot of Orlando Pirates fans, but Mamelodi Sundowns fans have been speaking about going there. The reason why they didn't come in so many numbers in the last game because they're preparing to go to Mbombela. I can promise you right now, there's a lot of kumbis, a lot of cars going that side to be able to prepare because they also want to have more numbers as fans to be able to support Mamelodi Sundowns players. And then with the management as well, from the coaches from Orlando Sundowns, they've been echoing this thing that they want the fans to be there. They want to have more numbers because they understand the importance of more numbers on the fan side to be able to push Mamelodi Sundowns players. But at the end of the day, it's all about what's going to happen at the pitch. We want to see the stadium. The stadium is going to be packed. We want to see all these different colors, the yellow and the black or the white on the other side of the pitch. But it's what happens on the day of the pitch. Who has the ball? Who will be able to be remembered after the game, after 90 minutes when people are driving back to their homes? Who's going to be remembered as a player that was outstanding on the day?
Big match temperament is needed that day. But Stiga, players, do you think, I mean, we've been talking about 1v1 situations, the likes of Tito needing to study his opposition and see who he's going to take on, but which players do you really think are going to have a resounding grand finale to the Nedbank Cup final? It can be from Orlando Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns, but those who are going to have a standout performance. I mean, we've seen the likes of Fatho Moeng, the numbers are there. And I think also when we look at the end of season awards, it's quite testament also to how Nedbank has been when you look at the top nominees, Stellies, Orlando Pirates, Mamelodi Sundowns. It's really testament. But who do you think is really going to raise their hand and will remember for the 2024 campaign?
I honestly think that Mabasa, not because he's top goal scorer, but because of the type of role he plays at Orlando Pirates. He's not a striker that when he doesn't touch the ball, he loses his shape, drops deep, doesn't provide the outlet. So he's a patient player. He's been patient. He's full of confidence. I think scoring at two different teams in one season, I think he's flying with confidence. As much as it's going to be for Orlando Pirates, the decision of who is going to be in the midfield. Is it Makaula? Is it Dylan Tumbata? Is it Tim? Which combination is going to be so important for Orlando Pirates? But at the end of the day, the guys that do the hard graft and the thinkers don't get applauded. So when you ask me for the name, I'm saying it's going to be Mabasa because I think he's got a goal in him and he remains patient. And the minute you don't see him, defenders have the tendency to not focus. But I'm sure Sundowns and the coach will be saying, don't forget about this player. But I say Mabasa will steal the show.
Teko, one player?
If you did not go for Mbanya, I think Mudau, Puliso Mudau will be so impactful as to then how Mamelodi Sundowns win the game, because of his recovery to defend. It's exceptional. Very difficult player to beat one-on-one. Also adds numbers going forward. He gets into the right areas. We've seen against Stelis, he gets into the right areas, being able to score goals. I think that's one of the games that needs to improve, because he gets there, he needs to be able to score. We saw him also in the AFCON when he got that opportunity to be able to score from that angle. He wasn't able to. But I think he's one player that has been outstanding defensive for Mamelodi Sundowns. And I think because of how Pirates play, the speed, I think he's one of the fastest defenders that Mamelodi Sundowns have. And I think he's the guy, if he's on song, if he's comfortable in his squad, I think he'll be the guy that actually helped Mamelodi Sundowns to win the game.
I love those permutations. I was going to ask you for predictions for this weekend, but no, let's leave it to curiosity. They say it did kill the cat, but we'll have to wait and see. I'll ask you guys later if your teams did win. Thank you so much, Donna. Thank you so much, Stiga, for your time chatting to us about this big grand finale that puts Mamelodi Sundowns against Orlando Pirates, the two biggest and best teams we have right now. So we are in for a wonderful grand finale. We talked about stats and said stats are out the window.
Yeah.
I think Sundowns and Pirates have made 72 times in all competitions in the PSL era, and I think it's Sundowns who has the bulk, 32 wins from 20 of Pirates. But we're not talking sets. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, gentlemen. A warm round of applause.